3 again. I did 5 because it's an uneven number. And started placing that throughout, which can be used if you want to make a character that looks a bit more complex than normal. Okay, so the thing also I want to go over that I learned about is triangles and how they can be used a lot. So as well as space. So in this piece I used the evenness and keep most of it mostly symmetrical, but there is some difference on the sides and the characters not facing directly towards the viewer, which gives it somewhat of a naturalness, but it's very stable and there's not a lot of movement going within this piece. Another thing you can use is the empty space between things and characters. So when you have a space that's empty, it draws people's eye to it. The space doesn't have anything inside it, and it's between two objects, which makes us look towards it. Even though there's space here, our eyes are drawn here. And then the last one is the triangle composition, which can be used for a bunch of different things. Hello. That's okay. I'm videoing everything, so I'm going to put it in general so you can see what you missed. Can you hear me now, Nexio? Okay. So, with the triangle composition, it adds movement to a piece, but it changes depending on how you use it. So, if your triangle is more inverted, like this, it has some stability, but it kind of adds an impeding movement. It has a motion where you just feel something's going this way, even though it's somewhat stable. If your triangle's more so on the side, you begin to feel instability that is going to fall over. So if you want to add a piece that's unstable, use a triangle that's tilted. If you want to create movement towards something, you can use a right triangle, which often has movement but leads the eye to whatever at the top, like before. And then we can have the one with the flat bottom, which is sturdy, but it can also be soft as well. So that might be a thing to try. Then we have relationships between characters and objects. So if you have two characters and then maybe you put something in front of it, it kind of brings more focus to the object. Maybe the person isn't supposed to look at the character as much, but there's something about these flowers. And we can see that more going on to here. So there's no interaction between the object and the characters in this piece, but in this one there is. So we see the character is looking towards the object, which is giving the relationship between two characters. The piece is split on two sides, with the character here, object here, and both were given more so the equal amount of importance. Though using the same thing, we can change the importance and maybe slightly change the story that's going on. So now I have made it where this object's really big, which makes it quite important, but we see the character in the background looking towards the object, which is partly giving the story. Now we see that the character is seeing it, and perhaps there's something important to this character with this object, which is good for adding stories to your pieces besides just composition. So by adding small themes, you can learn bits and pieces about your character. So we see that the character has some toys over here, sewing kit, their teddy bear, and some cookies, and we can start to piece together bits about the character. So they're probably somewhere in the room. They like playing with these blocks. Their teddy bear has been broken, it's probably important to them since they're fixing it. And they like these particular kinds of cookies that's near them. Maybe it's about 12 in the day, because it's lunchtime or something. You can also tell a story with a relationship between two characters. Again, so the character is inspecting the other one. You can maybe think of a reason why. You're perhaps curious about them. You can see they're kind of dressed up in some kind of guard suit, but they're also pointing again this way, which will be out of the frame. So you think they're telling them something that's important. And you can also drop pieces again without really much of anything else said. We got keys, which can mean they maybe have a car. There's a remote, so there's a TV probably, and a bottle, so there's probably a baby within the house. And by doing that, we can start adding bits of story to our pieces as well. Does anyone have any questions?